JB Cycles here with an update on October the 27th. So here I have my 4-week cycle and the 2-week oscillation, and looking back we see this low was a little bit late, and then this was probably a 2-week oscillation low. Going here, this was possibly the 2-week oscillation low, and then this second dip should not have occurred, but that gave us a nice ABC consolidation and another pop-up, and then we had this very small dip at this point where the cycle suggests a low, so that's possibly a 2-week oscillation low. And now on Monday, if we were to dip a little bit down on Monday, that could or would be a nice 2-week oscillation low. But I'm not sure if we stop there, because this could be, we could already be in the beginning of a correction, meaning we should break this trend line. But I can't really say. I have some mixed signals going forward, and we could be making a bigger topping formation here, because I do have some things pointing to a top closer to the election or even after the election, maybe mid-November. So a little bit mixed signals I will show you, and I'm not quite sure about the interpretation here of the 2 and the 4-week cycles. But zooming out, we have we do have the 3.5-year cycle here, and we are just about to leave the very bullish green phase where you only buy the dips and do not think about shorting the market, and now we are entering the intermediate stage where anything can happen, and I do suspect we could make an early top in this bull market because of the 28-year cycle. We are at the top of the 28-year cycle, and we have the 56-year war cycle and interest rate and inflation cycle, and this points to an early top in the 28-year cycle, meaning we could or should top out early here, but it also may stretch out into the winter or spring. But I do have a setup for a top now in November, and that is this setup. It is suggesting a short ABC bull market of about 2 years. Here in red and green I had 2 scenarios, both having the B low at this point. We have the first leg A up in the bull market, then the B down, and here the final C. And I had 2 separate scenarios for this last C, either the one topping here in green, but we did not follow that scenario, and then we had this other one in red suggesting a top around the election. And we are very close. We may already have seen the top, but anything could happen here. We are very close. But if we were to rally beyond this top and into December, New Year, well, then we are probably not following this setup or this scenario anymore. Then we are maybe making the more normal top in the 3.5-year cycle sometime in the middle or late of this intermediate yellow stage or phase. But we are possibly very close to a bull market high here. And also I had this other setup where I compared to the 73.5-year cycle, and the previous bull market was a nice analog, and it looks very similar, and in that case we should really crash down around the election. So, but on the other hand, I have my cycles, and especially this 17-week cycle. It is a very effective cycle, working for 25 years or most likely longer than that, and you see that it has a top somewhere early November or mid-November, and if going back here, you won't find many or any market tops that came before this cycle top. This one past this recent top was just a little bit before the cycle top, and as we see here, we still have a week or two, maybe 2 weeks before. Well, let's have a look. That's around mid-November. So I don't like believing in any top this early. I would prefer to see it a little bit later into November. But at the same time, we do have a setup here, looking at the wavelets and the pattern here in this last cycle or wave since the lows here. It is very similar to the two recent tops. This black vertical line, it shows the analog situation, and also an analog to this top previous summer. And they all, they are suggesting we are in the middle of a down leg. And the next few days, if we look back like here, we should break down, getting some bearish confirmations, or like back here, we should break down. So this next few 2-3 days should show us, do we get this bearish confirmation, or do we go more sideways and testing the top and making a bigger topping formation? I can't really say, but from this, looking at the wavelets, the setup, my gut says, I'd like to short this market. It should break down. But on the other hand, the cycles kind of tells a different story, and I don't like going against the cycles. So here I have Dow Jones Industrial hourly data. Here I also have been a little bit confused about the 2-week oscillation, but this is an obvious potential low, and the next one came exactly where this oscillation suggested, and the next one exactly where it suggested. So this is confirming this is most likely the correct interpretation of the market. And then at the next point, what happened there? Well, this could be a failing 2-week oscillation, or a collapsing oscillation, or call it whatever. You could also call it an inverted cycle or a merging cycle, like this. Two of these merging into one. The top is near the top of this one, and so this should suggest the next 2-week oscillation low is in maybe 5 days, around Friday this coming week. And looking at the wavelets, it looks like a bullish setup. So if it were to drop down on Monday, or anyway around Monday, I would expect a bounce to begin, but that could set up for a lower shoulder and then another leg down. Very possible. So here this looks, kind of looks bullish, but also bearish. I would expect a bounce, but I would like to short that bounce, possibly. But if we were to make a low here, we could have another bounce in around the election, and then another leg down after the election. Anything. So I showed you everything here, I guess, and I really can't say. I would like to see what the market does the next couple of days, 2 or 3 days. I need to get more confirmation about what's going on here. So this one could suggest we are to make a 2-week oscillation low around Monday. So the S&P tells a different story from the Dow Jones Industrial, which has been a lot weaker the recent 1 or 2 weeks. So we have to see. I can't really make any good prediction here for this coming 1 or 2 weeks. Hope this was helpful, and see you next time.